You okay? Dustin, I will now ask you some questions involving the shooting, as well as your life, and in return, you will give me answers that you see fit. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Tell me about the day of the incident. Where were your guns stashed before you got on the bus with them? Had you used guns like that before?
Yeah, sure.
When? Tell me about how you first learned to shoot.
First time my dad took me shooting was in the woods. Couldn't even load bullets into the clip, and it was just this little .22. But he had me stand there and load one clip after the next until I had blood blisters on both of my thumbs. I was 8. My fingers were bleeding, and I just wanted to go home. But my dad placed the weapon in my hands, and he instructed me to fire downrange. And I dropped the weapon 3 times because my hands were shaking so much. And every time I would bend down to pick it up, he would crack me on the back of my head. I was 8 years old, and I was pretty sure that this gun was going to go off with the impact of his next blow and take my face off.
So what did you do?
I pissed myself. It was December, and it was freezing. And my pants were soaked, and I told my dad again, I just want to go home. But he wanted me to fire downrange. And now because I couldn't stop shivering, he made me take my pants off. And then my underwear. And he had me stand there with no pants in the freezing cold. And he laughed at me as I fired downrange. He laughed at me like it was the funniest thing he had ever seen. He laughed at me.
I think we can stop for today.
No. Something else happened that day. Something terrible.
And what was that?
I realized that at any moment, with just one small squeeze of the trigger on that little .22, I could silence him. I could silence everything. He thought he was taking away my power, but in actuality, he showed me the most incredible thing in the world. There is nothing more powerful than knowing you can take away someone's life. Knowing that their fate, it's literally in your hands. I walked around the city for weeks before the shooting just holding the guns under my jacket, knowing that I controlled the lives of all those people. It was incredible. They had no idea, but in those moments, I was more powerful than anything in the entire world. When you think about it, I was a god. I chose for those people to live. And that day on the bus, I chose for them to die.
And you got off on the power?
Yeah. But that's not why I did it.
You did it as a cry for help?
No. Crying doesn't help. My dad taught me that one. If you want people to hear you in this world, well, then you gotta scream.